Hi, welcome to tonight's Power Flow. We're going to get started straight away. You might want to use a block at some point through the class. If you don't have a yoga block, a hardback book or a sort of book, biggest book you can find will work as well. Any injuries, as always, just being mindful in your own body because obviously I can't see you. But let's get started. We're going to start off tonight in a squat pose. So you can bring your feet to as wide as your yoga mat, toes slightly pointing out, and bring your elbows to the insides of your knees, hands together at heart center. And start to lift the crown of your head as you press your elbows into your knees. Go ahead and engage your ujjayi breath straight away tonight. And if this is really intense straight away, maybe taking a little sway side to side, just trying to take your attention off the sensations, off what might be going on. And don't worry if you're way up here or if your heels are lifted. Just stay as low into the pose as you can. Reach your right fingertips down towards the floor and your left arm up towards the ceiling. Find an opening, a gentle twist here. Come back through center, hands together. And we'll go on the other side. So left fingertips down, right arm up. Come back to center, last few breaths here, really pressing elbows into knees. And release the pose, rolling onto hands and knees. Might feel nice to take a little sway with the hips. And then together we'll take a couple of rounds of cat and cow. So inhale, dropping the stomach, arch the back, bring the gaze up. Exhale to round the spine, bring the chin towards the chest. Inhale as you arch, find that opening up. And exhale as you round. Take a few more rounds like this to the speed of your own breath. Really noticing what's going on physically today, any sensations, what your energy levels are like. Take a couple more like this, add in any other twist or turn that might feel quite nice. And then we're going to take a toe stand from here. So tucking your toes under and sit back on your heels. For some of you to begin with, you might think this is quite a strange one. You can't really feel much. For others of you, this is going to feel pretty intense straight away. If it's feeling like too much, you might want to place a cushion or something in between a blanket, in between your seat bones and your heels. And try not to let your heels open out here, so you're sort of reaching the inner ankles towards each other. Maybe close down the eyes. And just tune into your ujjayi breath. Keeping the upper body nice and relaxed, so check in with your hands, shoulders, forehead and jaw. And what we're doing here is we're really stretching into the soles of the feet, the fascia tissue that runs through the soles of the feet, but it's also connected with our hamstrings that runs all the way up the back of the legs, connects with the fascia tissue in the back line of the whole body. Think about a slight lift on your inhale, so feeling lighter in the body as you inhale. And then a releasing and letting go on the exhale. We won't be here for too much longer, stay with it. And releasing the pose, coming back onto your hands and knees. Untuck the toes and take a little tap with the tops of the feet. So almost like a drum roll on the floor. Just maybe rotating the ankles, getting that blood flow back into the toes. Might need to clench the toes a couple of times. And we're going to sit back on our feet, but this time tops of the feet are down. I'm going to turn around to face you. So tops of the feet are down, the toes might still feel a little bit weird. And you're going to reach your arms out in front of you and open and close your fingers as if you were trying to flick water off your hands. So imagine you're drying your hands. I'm sure all of you have been washing your hands quite a lot recently. And you're trying to dry them without anything to dry them on. So you're just flicking that water off. Keep breathing while you're here. Think about where you're breathing into. So not just into your chest, but also down into your stomach. Again, stay with it. For some of you, you'll feel this straight away. For others of you, you're going to take a little bit of time to start feeling the sensations. Keep going, but reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Keep opening and closing the hands. Can you move them any closer? Keep opening and closing. Reach them back out in front of you. I'm sure all of you are starting to feel this. Maybe your hands aren't quite doing what you're telling them to do anymore. Keep opening and closing. Notice where those sensations are through the wrists, maybe the forearms. Lift your arms up. Stay with it. Last few breaths. One more big inhale here. And as you exhale, just let your hands float down onto your thighs. Notice what's going on physically already straight away in the practice tonight. Our feet, our hands, and notice how that movement in those parts of the body is affecting the rest of the body as well. You might need to shake the wrists out a little bit. And then making your way back onto hands and knees. Spread the fingers wide, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. It might feel nice to pedal your feet out a little bit. Walking your dog out. Really press your hands down and forwards, find length through the whole spine. Walk your feet to your hands. And take a forward fold at the top of your mat. You can choose if you take ragdoll, opposite hand to opposite elbow, or maybe just let your hands hang heavy and take a little sway from side to side. Let the crown of your head hang and maybe bend a little bit through the knees, just taking that sway, that loosening up of the whole of the upper body. Maybe a bounce feels better for you. You choose what you do. So even though I'm instructing you, allow yourself to have that freedom in your body to really go where you need to go. Bring yourself to stillness. So then moving nice and slowly, roll your spine up to standing. Have your head as the last thing to lift. Reach your arms up overhead, take a full body stretch. And fold straight back down. Inhale, take a halfway lift, flat back. Pull the crown of the head forwards. Tummy button in and up towards the spine. And think about reaching the whole of the rib cage forwards here. If it's a lot, you can take a little bend in the knees. Fold. And we're going to go again, halfway lift. Reach the crown of the head forwards. Step back, high plank. Pausing in your high plank. Press the earth away with the hands. Engage muscles in your legs. Breathe here. Drop your knees, untuck your toes. Keep your elbows close to your body as you come all the way down to the mat. Open your chest, cobra, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Push back through your knees. Downward facing dog. Again, feeling free to take any movement in your down dog, still just feeling your way into your body. Take one more full breath in. And as you exhale, walk your feet to your hands. Take a halfway lift, flat back. Fold on the exhale. Inhale, rise tall, reach up. Exhale, bow forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Drop your knees, untuck your toes, come all the way down. Inhale, find your cobra, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Push back, downward facing dog. One more inhale here. As you exhale, gaze forward, soften knees, either walk or maybe take a light jump to your hands. Lift halfway. Fold forwards. Chair pose, bend your knees, reach your arms up. Really press your weight into the back of the feet. Fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, keep the knees lifted. Either another cobra or up dog. If you're in up dog, knees lifted off the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forwards, warrior one, root down, rise up as you inhale. See if you can bend into that front knee a little bit more. Root down with the outer edge of your back foot. And even though we're reaching up with the fingertip, try not to let the rib cage flare out. So think about tucking the lower ribs in, but reaching up with the fingers. High plank, either knees, chest, chin, or it's a chaturanga, bending the elbows. Up dog or cobra, squeeze the armpits if you're in up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forwards this time, warrior one. Drop the back heel, rise up. Again, just taking a couple of moments here, notice what's going on with both feet. Can you bend the front knee a little bit more? Fingertips sparked up. One more big inhale. Exhale, high to low plank. Up dog or it's a cobra. Downward facing dog. Maybe taking a couple of sighs in your down dog if that feels good. Big inhale through the nose. Soften knees, gaze forwards, and as lightly as you can, float to your hands. Lift halfway. Fold. Bend your knees, chair pose. Inhale, rise. Exhale, bow forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low plank. Either step or float back. Upward facing or cobra. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forwards, warrior one. Moving with your breath now. Inhale, rise. Exhale, back down, high to low plank. Dropping the knees at any point if you need to. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side, warrior one. Inhale, rise to. Exhale, low plank. Up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Always coming back to your foundations in your down dog. So your hands and your feet. Press down with each fingertip, each knuckle pad, as you reach your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Soften knees, gaze forwards as lightly, as softly as you can, feet to hands. Lift halfway. Fold. Bend your knees, chair pose. Exhale to fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, low plank, either step or float back. Up dog or cobra, don't rush. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right side, warrior one, rise up, inhale. Low plank, straight back down, moving with your own breath. Up dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forwards, warrior one. Press the feet down as you rise tall. Low plank. Up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Notice as we started flowing, what's going on with your breath. Is it starting to speed up, or are you still able to move one movement with one breath? Always the option to take a sigh if you need to. Bring your feet to touch behind you and lift your right leg up. Bend your knee and open up your hips. So trying to stack your right hip on top of your left. Keep shoulders square to the front of your mat. And see how high you can lift your right knee. Come back to a high plank, feet together to touch. Side plank, right hand down, left arm up. And normally we're stacking feet on top of each other, but today, see if you can place the sole of that left foot just in front of the right. So it's slightly modified half plank. From here, bend your knees so your seat bones almost touch your heels. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, bend your knees, seat bones towards heels. Inhale, back up. One more like this. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, lift up. Place both hands on the mat. Low plank. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Feet to touch. Staying with the right leg, lift the right leg up. Bring your knee to your nose. Kick it back. And again, bring your knee to your nose. See if you can connect your knee and nose for 3. Keep pulling everything in and up for 2. Last one, step your foot in between your hands. Rise up, crescent lunge. Find your breath, find your balance, and then reach your fingers up. And everyone, see if you can shuffle your back foot a little bit further backwards. So you're really opening a sensation in the front of your left thigh, bending in the front knee. Reach the fingertips up. Breathe. Bring your hands together at heart center. Inhale, find length. Exhale, twist towards your right, hooking your left elbow over your right thigh. Think about the back of your left kneecap, so the back of your leg, the back of the knee, and reaching that space up towards the ceiling. So you're strong in that back leg. Breathing into whatever sensations might be going on, any heat that might be building. Come back to center, crescent lunge. From here, try and just step your left foot forwards. Eagle pose, left leg over right, left arm under right. Focus your gaze. Squeeze the thighs together. Unravel the legs and the arms, keeping that right knee bent, step back, crescent lunge. Warrior 2, open out. Check in with the front knee, keep bending the front knee towards the baby toe. And make sure you're pressing down with the back edge of that back foot. Fingertips reach out. See how far you can reach your fingertips. Gaze over the front middle finger. Keep the bend in the front knee. Flip your front palm and reverse. Go up and go back. Extended side angle, right forearm to right thigh, left arm up towards the ceiling. Don't dump all your weight forwards, press down with the back foot. You can choose, if you stay here, drop your right hand down to the floor, or take a bind half or full, you choose. Gaze can be down or up towards the left fingertips. Try not to stick the bum out here, so think about curling the tailbone under a little bit. Last few breaths there, stay with it. One more big breath in. And as you exhale, place both hands on the mat, step back, high plank, but keep your right leg lifted off the floor. Stay here, keep pressing the hands away. For 3, for 2, for 1, either a 3-legged vinyasa or drop both feet down, low plank. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Take a moment to just notice the different sides of your body right now. Can you feel any different sensations, especially in the hip areas? And then let's bring our feet together to touch. Lift the left leg up. Bend the knee, open up the hips. Think about where the twist is coming from, keeping the shoulders square here. Everyone come back to a high plank. Feet to touch, spinning open to a side plank, but a slightly modified side plank, so the sole of the right foot is just ahead of the left foot. And from here, we're going to bend both knees, bring seat bones towards the heels. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, bend knees. Inhale, straighten the legs. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Both hands to the mat through a vinyasa, or skip it out and meet us in a downward facing dog, your choice. Feet to touch, left leg up, knee to nose, kick it back. Again, knee to nose, try and actually connect your knee and nose, hold it here, for 3, for 2, for 1, crescent lunge. Step that foot in between the hands, keeping the back heel lifted, rise 2. If you feel wobbly here, you can walk your left foot further towards the left. Again, maybe swivel the back foot further back, deepening the pose. Find your breath. Bring your hands together at heart center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist towards your left this time. So right elbow hooks over left thigh. Press palms into each other. And try not to press your weight onto that thigh. So there should be as much of a gap between your torso and your thigh as possible. Think about engaging muscles in the back leg. Keep spiraling the chest open. Moving slowly, come back to center, reach your arms up. Focus your gaze to a spot in front of you, and then as gently as you can, lift that back foot up. Wrap it over the left, so right leg goes over left, right arm comes under left, eagle pose. See if you can sink the hips a little bit more. Reaching the elbows so they're up in line with the shoulders. Unravel, keeping the left knee bent, step it back, crescent lunge. Warrior 2, open out. Check in with the feet, check in with the front knee. Really trying to bend it towards the baby toe and not the big toe. Gaze is over the front middle finger. Keep the bend in the front knee. Flip your front palm and reverse. Go up and go back. Extended side angle. Left forearm to left thigh. Right arm up towards the ceiling. Again, choosing how far you take this pose. Dropping the left hand down towards the floor if you want to, or a half or a full bind. Not forgetting about the back foot, really pressing the back foot down into the mat. Keep your breath strong. Staying with the pose, maybe that moment longer than you think you want to, than you think you can. One more full inhale. Exhale, both hands to the mat, step it back. High plank with your left leg lifted off the floor. Pausing here for 3, for 2, for 1. Either keep that leg lifted, take a 3-legged vinyasa, or just a normal vinyasa. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Taking a couple of deep breaths in your down dog. If you need a child's pose for a few moments, please go ahead. If you need to sigh, Take any movement here. Lift your right leg up. And we're going to step our right foot in between our hands without lifting your hands off the floor. So often it's really easy to start coming up onto the fingertips of one of the hands. Let's try that again. So kick that right leg back up. And then moving nice and slowly, bring the knee in towards your chest. And then step that foot in between your hands. Keep hands flat to the mat. And we're going to just switch our legs. So jumping up, switching the legs. We're going to do that a couple more times. So switch legs. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe here. So left foot should be forwards now. Push it back. 3-legged down dog. Left leg is lifted. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So stepping that left foot in between the hands without lifting the hands off the floor. Try it once more. Kick that foot back. And step it in between the hands without lifting them up. Step the right foot forwards too and come to a forward fold. Let your head just hang heavy. On an inhale, moving slowly, roll up to standing. Again, your head is the last thing to lift. And we'll come to Tadasana, mountain pose. So feet hip width apart, arms alongside your body, palms facing forwards. If it's comfortable, close down your eyes. And root down with the 4 corners of your feet. Engage muscles in the legs, pull up on the kneecaps. Run your awareness up your spine and then let your shoulder blades sink down your spine. Lift the crown of the head. And just take a few moments to ground yourself in this spot. To return to a strong Ujjayi breath. Open up the eyes. Tree pose. Sole of the right foot to the inside of the calf or the thigh. Start with your hands together at heart center. And really root that standing foot down. Focus your gaze to a spot in front of you. And then maybe open up the arms and reach tall. Maybe bring your gaze up towards the ceiling. See if you can stand a little bit taller here. Keep pressing the sole of the right foot into the left thigh. And release both feet down. Let's go on the other side, sole of the left foot to the inside of the calf or the thigh. Start with your hands together at heart center and find that foundation. So find the 4 corners of your right foot and press them down into the mat. So there's almost a lift in that inner arch, the inner ankle. When you're ready, options to keep the hands where they are or maybe open them out. And you can choose what you do with your gaze, either keeping it straight out in front of you or up towards the ceiling. And release both feet down. If you need to shake it out a little bit, please do. And then we're going to bring our left hand to our left hip, reach your right knee up. Flex the right toes and stand up nice and tall. Options to stay where you are or open your knee out towards the right. Again, options to stay here or reach your left arm towards the left. Gaze over your left thumb. If you're feeling wobbly today, just keep one spot that you're gazing at and don't let your both arms up. Straighten that leg. Try not to lean backwards here. Moving slowly, let that foot swing towards the back of the room, reach the fingertips back. Warrior 3, aeroplane. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And really think about your right heel, and you're reaching that right heel backwards. So the muscles in the right leg are completely switched on. Bring your hands together at heart center. Left hand down to the floor. I like to use a block. If you don't have a block, you might want to use a water bottle, or basically anything that gives you a little bit more height between the floor and your hand. Right hand goes up towards the ceiling. Attention again on that right heel, reaching the right heel backwards. The more engagement you have in your right leg, the more stability you're going to have here. Keep the right leg lifted as you bring both hands down onto the floor, standing splits. You can stay with fingertips on the floor, flat palms, or grab the standing ankle with one or both hands. If any of you are feeling quite energetic today, you might want to just take a couple of little handstand hops. You don't have to lift very high off the floor, but just stay with it for another 5, 4, 3, keep breathing, 2, 1, both feet to the floor, take a ragdoll, opposite hand, opposite elbow, let your head just hang heavy. Maybe a sway, maybe a sigh. Allow the whole of the upper half of the body to just relax. Release hands. Inhale, roll yourself up to standing. And let's go on the other side. So right hand to right hip this time. Lift that left knee up. Again, grounding down with the 4 corners of the standing foot. Flex the left toes up. Open the knee out towards the left. And options to stay here or reach the right arm out and maybe look over that right thumb. Moving slowly, come back to center. Keep the knee lifted, reach both arms up. Options to stay where you are or straighten that leg. If you're straightening the leg, it's very tempting to lean backwards, so keep the core nice and pulled in and up. Navel towards spine. Keep that leg lifted and then swinging it almost like a pendulum, so trying to keep that leg straight all the way, swing it back, warrior 3. Awareness on the left heel now. See how far you can reach that backwards. And let's all bring our hands to our hips here. And it's very tempting for that left hip to start opening out. Bit wobbly today. But try and keep your hips as level as you can and then reach back with the fingers. Hands together at heart center. Right hand down to the floor, block, or whatever it is you might have, half moon. So keeping the left leg lifted, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling this time. Engagement in the left leg will help you here. Ujjayi breath. Keeping that left leg lifted, drop both hands down towards the floor. Standing splits. Choose if you stay on fingertips, flat palms, or grab your standing ankle with both hands. Again, if you're feeling energetic today, maybe go for a few handstand hops. Make sure you're breathing. For another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both feet to the mat. Take a forward fold, but this time interlace your fingers at your sacrum and reach your wrist towards the top of the mat. Let the crown of the head hang heavy. Maybe a gentle shake of the head, yes and no. Or maybe here you just need a few moments in stillness. Release your hands. Take a halfway lift, reach the crown of the head forwards. Step back, high plank. Options to drop the knees or keep them lifted, but we're going to lower down towards the mat for a count of 5. Keep the elbows close to your body for 4. Don't let the hips sink. 3. Keep breathing, there's a lot going on for 2. Last one, come all the way down onto your mat. One cheek down, arms alongside your body. Enjoy a few sensations of just lying flat on your mat. Maybe noticing how your body feels now compared to how it felt when you started class, maybe before class. Turn your palms so they face the floor. Big toes to touch, forehead down. Press your pelvis into the mat and then lift up, locust. Think about how long you can stretch your body, as well as how high you can lift. Make sure you're breathing here. And release, let go, bring the opposite cheek down and just sway the hips gently from side to side, releasing any tension in the lower back. This time we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to interlace our fingers at our sacrum, forehead down, big toes touching, lift up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Squeeze muscles in the legs, and then reach the toes backwards. And release, let go. Again, sway the hips. Take a sigh if you need to. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, so fingertips are just a little bit lower than your back. It's quite an intense pose. Squeeze the glutes as much as you can. Tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Gaze forwards, either walk or lightly jump through to seated and make your way to lying on your back. Feet flat to the floor, hip width apart. Make sure you can just brush your heels with your fingertips. And then press your feet down, lift your hips up, bridge pose. You can choose what you do with your arms. Maybe interlace your fingers underneath you, walk your shoulder blades further towards each other. Notice your breath here. How deep can you make your inhalation? And can you let anything go on the exhalation? Whether that's something physical, something emotional. Really have a sensation of releasing, letting go as you exhale. Really have a sensation of releasing, letting go as you exhale. Gently roll your spine back along the mat. Sway your knees from side to side. And let's go again. Bridge your wheel, lift up. Squeeze the glutes. Maybe give the glutes a little poke, make sure they're switched on. Sometimes you can be in this pose quite passively, but really pulling the muscles. So imagine there's something in between your thighs that you're trying to squeeze into. So I'm not knocking my knees together, I'm just imagining that sensation of squeezing in. And release, roll the spine back along the mat, sway the knees from side to side. We're going to take one more back bend today. Bridge or wheel, lift up. Use your breath to power you in the pose. Press the earth away a little bit more with the feet to lift the hips even higher. Release the pose, roll back along the mat. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Maybe a rock side to side feels quite nice on the lower back. Happy baby, grab the outer edges of your feet and pull your knees in towards your armpits. You might want to stay in stillness here, or it might feel quite nice to stay with that rocking from side to side. Release your feet and grab the underneath of your thighs and take a couple of rock and rolls backwards and forwards on the mat. So just going along the whole length of the spine here. When you've had enough of backwards and forwards, we're going to take a boat pose in Navasana. So sitting right up on your seat bones, lift your feet up. So you want to try and have your shins so they're parallel to the floor. You can choose if your toes are flexed or pointed. I find it easier when they're flexed. And you can choose if you hold onto your thighs, or if you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can reach your arms out. Try not to let your feet sink, and try not to sink backwards. So you're lifting through the center of the chest. We're just going to stay here for a few more breaths. And release both feet down and let your forehead just rest on your knees. Staying in a seated pose, I'm going to turn around a little bit. Straighten your left leg out and you're going to start to cradle your right shin. So you want to get the arch, so the sole of the right foot into the left elbow and the right knee into the right elbow. And imagine you're sort of rocking a baby here or rocking something. And as you rock, you want to feel a sensation in the right glute, the right hip. This is just a nice way to get a little bit more of a gentle stretch in our hip before we move into a deeper hip opener. You might want to stay with this swaying sensation, or you might feel, oh, that bit feels really nice, so you just stay in stillness. Keeping your right knee bent, place the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Reach your arms up and then lead with the chest, come to a forward fold. Your hands can rest on your shins, ankles, or sole of the foot. And just forward folding here, maybe closing down the eyes. Try and take away what you think this pose should look like. And really just listening to what your body's telling you. Noticing what sensations are going on. And as always, we're just coming back to our breath. Notice as we stay here for a few more moments, if there's any sensation of release, like you want to go into the pose further, or if the opposite's happening and actually you want to back off a little bit. On an inhale, bring yourself back up to seated, and we'll go on the other side. So stretching the right leg out, it might need a little shake before you move on to the other side or above. And then lifting up that left shin, sole of the left foot to the inside of the right elbow, so sort of that little elbow crease, and the knee into the left elbow crease. And again, just taking that rocking movement. And feel free here if little circles feel nice for you. If stillness feels nice for you. But the area we're really looking at opening is sort of just underneath here. So left glutes, left hip. And releasing that foot, but keeping the left knee bent, sole of the foot to the inside of the right thigh this time. Make sure you're right on both seat bones equally, and then reach up with the hands, lead with the chest forwards, coming to that forward fold. Again, it might feel nice to close the eyes here and just really tune into whatever your body is telling you today. And don't be surprised if one side feels a lot more open than the other. That's very normal. And coming back up to seated. Again, if you need to shake the legs out a little bit, please do. And we're going to roll over into a downward facing dog. I'm going to stay in down dog for a couple of breaths. If you're still feeling quite energetic today, we're going to take the option of taking a turbo dog. So if you're not sure what that is, I'm going to demonstrate. I hope you can see this way on, but I'm basically going to bend my elbows back towards me. Actually, that's a lie. I'm going to bend my elbows out towards the side first. So almost like a press up sort of position. So bending the elbows out towards the sides and then scoop the elbows in. So your elbows are only a few inches from the floor. It's pretty intense. So just staying here for another 3, for 2, for 1, push back, downward facing dog. We're going to do that again, and this time I'm going to give you the correct cue from the beginning. So we bend the elbows out towards the sides and then scoop them in. So almost putting elbows in towards each other. You're going to feel it through the shoulder blades. For 3, keep lifting the hips. For 2, for 1, push back, downward facing dog. Last one like this, really feeling it in the shoulders tonight. We're going to bend the elbows outwards. Roll them in towards each other. Keep breathing. Keep squeezing the elbows in. For 3, for 2, for 1, push back, downward facing dog. Whew, I can feel that one. And from here, we're going to take half pigeon on the right. Step the right foot towards the left wrist, right knee towards right wrist. And set yourself up. So left leg is straight out behind you. Walking forwards either onto your forearms or all the way onto your forehead. And even though we're taking quite a deep stretch here, keep it a little bit active by pressing your right shin into the floor. For some of you, it's going to feel quite intense. For others of you, it's going to help you deepen the stretch. So just maybe pulse it a little bit or maybe press into the mat with the right shin for a few breaths and then release. And see if you come into the pose a little bit more. If you find your mind wandering off to other places, just gently guiding it back to your breath. Downward facing dog. Take any movement, any stretch with that right leg. And then when you're ready, there's no rush here. Set up for half pigeon on the left. And if that left hip is far up off the floor, you might want to place a cushion or a blanket or something underneath it. And then walking forwards onto your forearms or all the way down onto your forehead. And then you can choose on this side, if you quite liked the activity of pressing that the left shin down, if that helped you find a stretch or if that helped you activate rather than sink into flexibility, go ahead. But if actually right now you just want to have some stillness in your half pigeon, go ahead and take that time. And we're going to release this side. And you're going to make your way to lying on your back. So you might make it through tabletop. You might just sort of splat back straight down if your arms are getting a bit tired. And we're going to just stretch into the shoulders because we've worked quite hard today. We want to stretch them out. So reach your right arm out towards the right at shoulder height. Left hand is sort of underneath your left shoulder. Press down with the left hand and twist onto your right side. You can choose if you keep your legs on top of each other. If you want to deepen the stretch, bend the left knee and place the sole of the left foot on the floor. To deepen the stretch, press down with the left hand a little bit more. And the sensation that we want to feel here is right underneath that right shoulder blade. So we've worked quite a lot in the arms. This is great to release any of the tension, any strain we might have put on those muscles, so that you wake up tomorrow morning feeling fresh and ready for another practice. And we're going to release this side, so rolling back onto your stomach. And we'll go on the other side. So left arm straight out at shoulder height. Press down with the right hand, either coming onto your left side, with both legs on top of each other, or placing the sole of the right foot on the floor. Again, if you want more, press that right hand or the right fingertips down into the floor. Releasing this side. And just squeeze. Let your right knee fall towards the left. Just come on to us. Right arm reaches towards the right if you have space. If not, maybe bending that right elbow. Just allowing a moment of decompression as we twist the whole time. Come back to center and hug both knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Take a big, big inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Let go of legs, let go of arms. Come to lying flat on your back. Palms facing the ceiling. Eyes closed. Shavasana. Final rest. Start to deepen your breath. Let your head roll from left to right. Roll onto your right side into a fetal position. Make your way up to a seated or a kneeling position with your hands together at heart center and your eyes closed. Press your thumb knuckles into your heart center and sit up nice and tall there. Allow a few more moments of stillness. And bring to your mind someone or something that you're grateful for right now. Allow whatever that thought is to fill your mind. And with gratitude in your heart, lift your thumb knuckles up to your forehead center. Together we bow forwards and we say, Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions, any feedback. Otherwise, I hope to see you here again soon.